Hello and welcome to Sam's on Wrestling. I am Sam, your host, and I am old. And this is Baby Sam. And Baby Sam is very young. And he doesn't know a lot happened pre-2008.
In general.
He knows a little Attitude Era, but he doesn't know much. So this series is called Educating Baby Sam. In reality, it is probably a wrestler retrospective or a, company retrospective or a thing retrospective. But in reality, I'm trying to educate him and make him more of a world-rounded wrestling fan and YouTuber. Because, quite frankly, no one cares about the PG era.
It's true. Really looking forward to going back to school again.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, having to listen.
Will I give you a grade? Will I graduate you?
From wrestling school.
But thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we are going to look at this wrestler today. Their name, Sam, let's see if you actually know the name based on a few bits of information. Their real name is Kevin Patrick Wacholtz.
Well, I don't know if that's not their...
That's their real name.
Yeah, but their real name, not the wrestler's
Their
name.
real name, not their wrestling name.
Don't know who that is.
They were born April 17th, 1958. So what's that, like 66, something like that?
I don't probably know.
They were in the golden generation. They were born in Bloomington, Minnesota. They're 6'5", 302 pounds, and they have never won a major title in a wrestling promotion.
Neither have I, to be fair. So that's
No, you haven't, to be fair.
I don't know who that is.
The wrestler we are looking at today, and let's see if you've heard of this wrestler, we are looking at Nailz.
Oh, yeah.
So, Sam, now you know it's Nailz. Is there anything you know?
He attacked Vince McMahon, didn't he?
Yes.
So, he had... You know, I know.
We might be getting to it.
Turns out I know a few things. So he had a match with the Big Boss Man, because Big Boss Man's giving us a policeman and Nailz is a criminal. Made sense.
Let's find out, shall we,
yes.
Sam? Right, so we're going to start off. So, Nailz started wrestling in 1982, right?
Yes.
This was after winning a Tough Man competition.
Okay.
Not gimmicked, this is, right? Have you ever heard of a Tough Man competition?
I have not.
So, this is a chance for novice amateur boxers to test themselves in the ring. So, it's boxing, but just Dave could turn up and have a crack.
Oh, okay.
Depending on what state you're in, right?
Right.
They still do this now.
Yeah.
Yeah? So much so that in 2003, a young woman died of brain injuries.
It's gonna happen.
This is just real fighting, right?
Yeah.
Did it get banned? No. Now it's sanctioned by the Florida State Boxing Commission.
Makes sense for Florida, doesn't it?
But either way, it proves that Nailz was hard as nails. So, he started in the AWA as Mr. Magnificent.
That's the flamboyant thing you put in the lad who's just, won a rough man competition.
Mr. Magnificent, which I tell you is so far away from this WWE gimmick of Nailz.
Should have feuded Mr. Perfect.
I know, it would have worked, but he was managed by Sherry Martel. Sensational Sherry. Now, when I started researching wrestlers to do this segment, if they were a wrestler in the 80s or the 90s, they were managed by Sherry Martel.
She got about.
She just got around.
Apparently.
She's fantastic. She must have been turning chicken, into chicken salad, but she was always there. She then got swapped for Medusa, Alundra Blaze. So
She's done all right.
She's like, his valets are really good quality.
Mm.
He didn't win much in the AWA, and he left in 1988. The AWA folded 3 years later.
Should have released him.
Maybe Nailz.
Yeah.
Maybe he was the saviour. He
was the
could
key.
have been the key to the AWA.
It's true.
No, he couldn't have been. He sucked. He also wrestled in world-class wrestling as a heel. Now, his name, Sam, we're going to play Guess the Name.
Oh, sure.
Okay? He was named after a Marvel character. Which Marvel character was Nailz, the useless 6'5" wrestler, named after?
Black Widow. No, it is going to be Thor.
He is Thor.
Complete guess.
My guess, he's the Love and Thunder Thor. And not Ragnarok Thor.
Yeah, that's funny.
I can't get over, right, how poor a wrestler Nailz is. Okay? he literally had 2 moves. A choke and another choke. That's all he had.
Feels like one move.
Like, he is a talentless Great Khali.
So the Great Khali.
No, he's a talentless Great Khali.
I think the Great
So
Khali.
take a Great Khali who is talentless, and he's now a talentless version of a talentless Great Khali. That's all he had. He had a choke, and he had a pin after choking someone. That's all he had. He had many tries with the WWF, not successful at first, because he couldn't wrestle. But in 1992, he was signed by the WWF and given the name of Nailz. An ex-convict, as you correctly, well done educating. You can have your first little A.
Do I get a little gold star?
Yeah, okay. There you go. Can I do that in the edit? That's the question.
I feel like my year 2 days all over again. I mean, I'm a prime.
Now, he had your rivalry, you said, with Big Boss Man. Do you know how it all came about?
Oh, of course I don't know.
So, he was an ex-convict who was abused by the Big Boss Man while in prison.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Okay? So, vignettes appeared of a man coming from prison to enact revenge.
Okay.
So you know...
I like this story.
An ex-convict pairing with a police officer, that works.
Yeah.
You know that's great. That's a good story and a good way to bring him in. 2 things, though, Sam. Right, there's 2 things. Nailz' wrestling attire. Do you know what he wrestled in?
In orange prison overall. So he's still not changed. It's just so nostalgic about his prison days. He just always wears it wherever he goes.
Bright orange jumpsuit. First of all, isn't that government property? Don't you need to give that back?
Maybe he just didn't bring any clothes into prison, so they couldn't let him take it off. That would have been another felony.
No, it just means he's committing more crimes.
It's true.
He's committing more crimes. He's still a convict. He's stealing government property. But my other, more of a shoot point, actually, that I wanted to bring up is, where does the convict character go once finished with the police officer?
He becomes reformed.
Oh, yeah, he's a reformed convict.
Yes.
So you mean turns babyface?
He goes back into prison and like does motivational talks, you know, does Make-A-Wish stuff.
Oh my god, so you like, what's it called? Is it Make-A-Wish Fatu? Is that what his name is?
Yeah.
Oh, like Rikishi's old gimmick, like what was it? I was like something like that. Fatu, I can't remember what it
Something
was.
like that.
Make a difference,
Yeah,
Fatu.
but he's in it for the kids. And then the big boss man turns to crime.
Oh, right. But I need to make it clear, right? I need to make it clear that the Nailz character claimed he was innocent of all crimes, in which we never find out what his crimes were. In my mind, he stole pick and mix. In my mind, that's what I think. Because, quite frankly, you know, what's he done that's got him out so much so that he can go and beat up a police officer immediately? But the thing is, though, he worked as a heel. So he clearly did the crimes. He's a heel. Because the police officer abused him.
Well, maybe he's become a heel because of the way he was treated by the big boss man. Maybe he was an innocent man. He's a lovely guy.
But the big boss man is a babyface in this.
Well, that just shows you America's justice system.
It's
social commentary is what this is from Vince. It's very intricate.
It reminds me so much of Muhammad Hassan, who walks out and goes, you treat me badly, you treat me like a terrorist, however, I'm still going to act like a terrorist and be a heel. And you're like, hang on, shouldn't this have a little bit more to it than that? So, yeah, he's a babyface abuser of a convict who we don't quite know what crimes he committed, apart from the fact he keeps stealing his own jumpsuit. Right? So Nailz attacked the big boss man.
Yeah.
And then he handcuffed him to the ring ropes. And guess what he did to him when he handcuffed him to the ring ropes?
Electrocuted his testicles.
No, he choked him, because that's all he's got, Sam! He choked him, because he only has chokes. He does chokes and working towards other chokes.
Working toward. Just kind of like slowly get to the
sorry,
neck.
I apologise. He choked him and then choked him with a nightstick.
I mean, it's great.
So, right, but before we get to all of this, right, WWF and Kevin Dunn did this really weird thing with Nailz' promos, right? Do you know what they did to his promos?
I do not.
Right, so you know how some wrestlers, they have like a very unique way of delivering their promo, they have a production that comes with it. So think about maybe like Bray Wyatt's Funhouse, that type of thing, and then some people might put on an accent, like Kofi Kingston was Jamaican, for example. What they did with Nailz is they modulated his voice and made it really deep. like really, really deep. So one of the famous things he said was, "Who's the boss now, boss man?" Which is hilarious. Now say it in a really deep, deep voice.
Who's the boss now, boss man?
Even deeper.
I can't get.
Who's the boss now, boss man?
So that's what they did for every promo he did.
Right.
Now, when at first he's saying he's going to come and get the boss man, you don't see who it is. It's almost like it's like a voiceover.
Yeah.
So he's hiding his voice, like he's a kidnapper or something.
Right.
That's fine. But they did it even after we've seen him. He's like, "I am no Nailz, hide my voice."
He doesn't look like he's got a very deep voice as well either, does he?
He's a normal bloke. Like we've had Nailz on the screen, and he's just, he's kind of thinning blonde hair at this point. He's kind of got like a bit of a pudding face,
Yeah.
And that's what they did. So he's like, I don't know if it was trying to make him more menacing, but that's what you do when you're trying to hide your identity.
Also, you can't probably do that at the time on a live microphone, so it's
No,
good
they
to get...
could. No, to be fair, they could.
Actually.
Yeah, it's actually
Fair
really
enough.
easy. Apparently, you just change the sound on it because Vince McMahon did it in the ring when they had the DX thing. They made his voice go really high pitch.
fair enough.
So surprisingly, it can be done, and they did do it. I don't know if they are recorded promos or live. He didn't do many live promos in the ring. They were all backstage. So he's got a modulated voice, but Bossman now knows who he is. So I don't know why he's like hiding it. So they kept that going for a while now, but I have the theory that the production didn't do it. He just swallowed a modulator, and it's now just like stuck. Or he has kidnapped someone and just forgot to turn it off on the phone, so he just got background going.
I am Nailz. Oh, bollocks, I left my phone on.
So anyway, Nailz is a big 6'5", 300-pound dude.
Sure.
He debuts for WWE. What's the first thing that WWE do with a 6'5", 300-pound dude? What's the first thing they do? With every big monstery type person, what do they do first before they put him in a rivalry with someone real?
Just have him win a squash match?
Twin squashes
Yay!
matches. So Nailz beats jobbers, right? The
Sure.
most famous one, most notable one is Virgil. Do you know when he beat? On pay-per-view. Do you know when he beat Virgil?
93?
So he's in 92.
Oh, 92.
And what pay-per-view?
In your house is a rough guess. I don't know
Not
what
happening.
pay-per-views are on
Not
about.
happening yet.
Is it SummerSlam?
What's SummerSlam in 92?
Wembley.
His
Oh my God.
pay-per-view debut is against Virgil at SummerSlam 1990. Could you imagine, like, we've been to both All-Ins, right? Could you imagine we rock up and we get Virgil versus Nailz?
Following Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
because,
exactly. How many chokes can he do? He did like 7, by the way. It was like a 3-minute squash.
He's put a shift in there.
Oh my God, it was ridiculous, right? But what doesn't help when you put a big man in is the minute you then put them with somebody else. Because the thing about Big Boss Man, I think, is a really underrated promo. He actually cuts fantastic promos when he's a babyface in particular. I think his heels is a bit repetitive, but as a babyface, Boss Man, great promo. So he cuts like one wonderful promo when he's returned after he's been beaten up and choked by the Boss Man, right? He talked after he's come back from his kayfabe injury. And he talked about law and order and justice. And you got Nailz cutted modulated ones going, "Who's the boss now, boss man?" You can't have a guy job people out when you're a monster heel, but put them next to somebody who doesn't even have to be amazing, just vaguely good. Think about all the monsters and they put them next to someone vaguely good. You got Carly and Gonzalez and Kamala all put against The Undertaker. They immediately look rubbish because they either lose or they're just not as good. So you immediately go, why would I care about this person? And that was the first thing they did was put him with Bossman, the correct feud. But Bossman, like, they should have built to the feud. They should have done a few things to get to the feud. Bossman should have been kayfabe injuries for a while. Have Nailz destroy people in the Rumble, do it at Mania or something.
Or you can just give that gimmick to someone who's better.
Yeah, well, that's a given as well. I mean, that's a given, right? So then, thankfully, we have the Bossman and Nailz have a match at Survivor Series. What was the gimmick? There was a gimmick match, Sam. Do you know what the gimmick was?
It wasn't Dog Kennel, was it?
No, that's Al Snow, Bossman.
They have to arrest each other.
No,
you have to put the other in prison.
What is one of your least favourite match types? And is also
That's
one of
Punjabi prison.
and one of my least favourite match types.
What's?
Yeah, bang the microphone stand.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ. You think you've been YouTubing for more than a
I
month?
do apologise, viewers. Go on, what is it?
Well, Bossman has a nightstick, and he's been attacked by said nightstick.
Oh no.
Yes, Sam! It's a nightstick on a pole match.
Oh, I thought it was going to be purely a nightstick.
No,
match.
they didn't
It's
have
on
those back then.
it's
They had to
on
put it on a pole
pole.
first. They had to do some climbing first. Oh, by the way, Nailz lost that match.
Oh no. Yeah.
So that's his second pay-per-view match to the man he's been feuding who's abused him.
Does he throw him in a cage?
No.
I'm thinking of
You are. I think you're thinking of the Mountie. That's the gimmick dead. That's the heel gimmick dead. What are you meant to do at that point?
So they probably just looked at them and gone, this guy's a little bit rubbish.
No, because he
Okay.
next entered in a feud with The Undertaker.
Everyone
what
who's
are you-
rubbish gets a feud with The Undertaker, don't they?
all Undertaker did do at that point was chokes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, do you reckon they just put a choke on each other and just slowly drifted to the floor?
Oh yeah, I don't even want to say it.
Right, this was going to be a big thing because they were the picture on the head of WWF magazine. So it was going to be a big thing, okay? And they actually did house show loops together, including one at Madison Square Garden. So Nailz has done Wembley and MSG in the space of a couple of months. This man who could not wrestle. But Sam,
And he's lost as well.
you've already told me about some stuff.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Okay? You thought I picked Nailz for his terrible wrestling ability and a weird prison gimmick. No. You know exactly why. Alright? So you might know the idea, but they might not. So, picture the scene. Vince McMahon's office. Huge Nailz walks in. And what was he wanting when he walked into McMahon's office?
I believe he wanted a bigger contract.
Nearly. He wanted, there's either two things, it's a bit of an argument, but he wanted more money because he thinks he got underpaid for either SummerSlam, we're not quite sure which one it is, SummerSlam Survivor Series or MSG. So SummerSlam, squash match. Survivor Series, terrible match with the Big Boss Man on a mid-card feud. MSG, house show. And he demanded more money from Vince McMahon.
That's going to go well, isn't it?
Nailz, supposedly, got another wrestler to watch the door. He denies this, by the way. And apparently screamed at Vince for 15 minutes.
That was his opening tactic. Hey, Vince, I was thinking, can I have a bit of...
Who's the underpaid man now? Boss man.
That's his opening. It's not like Vince declined it. That was his plan.
Yeah.
To just yell at Vince McMahon. Because that's going to go well with Vince McMahon, isn't it?
And there was a loud crash that could be heard. And it was Nailz knocking Vince out of his chair. And guess what he was doing to him? Choking him! This time, choking him. So, obviously, Nailz gets fired, right? Who presses charges?
Big Boss Man?
No,
I don't know.
Nailz presses charges against Vince.
What?
Right, so, Nailz gets, even more on the offensive here, right? He, first of all, files a wrongful termination letter. So he's been fired wrongly. You attacked him!
You attacked your boss.
But also, he says that Vince McMahon tried to sexually assault him. Now, we're going to steer clear of this topic, because especially we know a lot about Vince now. However, all I'll say is the image of Vince McMahon trying to do something to a 6'5", 300-pound blonde man is a fascinating concept.
Interesting negotiating tactic. Nailz is demanding more money and Vince tries to seduce him. I'm not seeing it.
According to Jim Nord, who is supposedly the guy who held the door, this is made up by Nailz, and he was just using it as another excuse to try and get more money out of Vince when he attacked him, sort of thing, right? So Nailz goes on the offensive. He says that Vince had tried to give him steroids, offered it multiple times, and Nailz refused. The steroid trial is within a year of this, so I could actually believe that, so we're not sure where they go. Again, but everything I'm saying is all speculation. We don't fully
Allegedly.
know. Sorry, the allegedly is our magic word, right?
Yes.
So obviously, WWE counter claim against him. Everything gets dropped, right? Maybe both saw sense and that was the end of it. But no, it wasn't, Sam! That was not the end. Because we've got the steroid trial of 1994. Now, do you know anything about the steroid trial of 1994?
Okay, so this rings a bell. So...
Maybe not the Nailz. Do you know much about the steroid trial in general?
Yes, but I know Nailz is part in it, I think.
So we are going to do the steroid trial one day, because I don't think you really know the full extent.
I don't. I know a little bit of bobs.
But essentially, just to put it, so we don't want to give it away for other things, but essentially this is trying to prove if Vince had given steroids to other wrestlers and more. There's more to it than that, it's more detailed than that, but that's effectively what it is, right? So every single wrestler who gets called to the stand essentially goes, no, Vince never gave me steroids, or something to that effect, or whatever, right? Apart from Nailz, okay? But Nailz isn't the sharpest nail in the box of nails, all right? So, like, you need more than a hammer to hang up your picture frames using his nail, right? That's all I'm going to say, right? So the lawyer, who clearly isn't stupid, knows that he's a hostile witness because, you know, he's been fired by Vince. He's not a genuine witness. And what happens is, he essentially goes, and I'm paraphrasing it, but he essentially goes, do you, like, have any affirmative hatred towards Vince McMahon? And he says, like, no. And he said, do you have any animosity to Vince McMahon? He's like, yes. And he's like, do you have any animosity? No. Do you hate him? Yes, I do. You're like, you're an idiot. So straight away, Vince is like, that's it. Thrown out. You're an idiot. Vince is found innocent, obviously, at the steroid trial. Clever, literally, we'll get into why he was found innocent, because maybe he shouldn't have been. But we haven't finished the Nailz story, so we've still got a little bit of Nailz to go. Because it's the 90s, and Nailz has been fired by WWF, where do you think Nailz goes, Sam?
Oh, WCW.
He goes to WCW. Right, a fun game, Sam. We always have a gimmick wrestler in WWF, turns up in WCW. What name did they give him?
Oh, Screw.
That's a better name. That's a much better name. Go worse.
Is it Nailz associated?
No,
okay.
That's again better. No, it's Nailz associated.
Yeah.
It's the gimmick.
Hammer?
No. Go really, really generic.
Metal. Or...
It's not to do with nails, it's to do with his gimmick.
Oh, prisoner.
That's exactly what he was called. He was called not even like the convict.
No.
He was called the prisoner, which clearly WWF were just like, you can stop that right now. That he even wore the jumpsuit.
It's a real jumpsuit. It's what he wore.
Sam.
Yeah.
He lost to Sting at Slamboree 93. He had another high-profile match. Right, two things from this one-off match. One, it is regarded as one of, if not the worst, Sting pay-per-view match of all time. Two, he was billed from Green Bay. But as we saw earlier, I gave you where he was from. That wasn't Green Bay. Why was he billed from Green Bay?
Why was he billed from
That's
Green Bay?
where he attacked Vince McMahon! Now, he obviously got fired because he sucked, but he sort of came back 4 years later to WCW, but he never made it to TV, right?
Yeah.
Question, Sam, another question for you. How much did WCW pay Nailz in 97/98 for the year he was there when he didn't make a single TV appearance?
It's a WCW thing to be loads, isn't it? 50 grand?
Higher!
No.
Higher!
No. Oh, okay. 100 grand.
Higher!
150 grand.
$150,000. This useless man who's failed in a steroid trial, who can't wrestle. Bischoff claims this was the going rate for a wrestler with experience.
No wonder they went out of business.
He started wrestling in 88. He had 5 years experience and he couldn't wrestle. Right?
Hey, fair play to Nailz. He got his bigger contract in the end, didn't he?
Now, he did wrestle in Jim Crockett's new promotion and he was called the Convict. Yay!
He's versatile.
He then retired in 2001 after not much fanfare, and he kind of just disappeared. Like, no one knew anything where he went. He just disappeared, and then he just appeared at a WrestleCon in 2023, as if like, yeah, I always go to these things. What you're on about? I'm just here. And it's like, where have you been for 22 years? Where did you go? He literally just vanished.
Ran out
No
of
one
150k
knows.
is what happened.
Yeah, to Vegas.
Yeah.
And that, Sam, is the full story of Nailz, or as he's actually known, his real name, Kevin Patrick Wachholz, or Wachholz. I'm not quite sure how to
So he's still
pronounce
alive?
it. He is still alive. He went to WrestleCon 2023. I think he might have even gone 2024.
Wow.
So that is Nailz. So what do you think of the career
What
of
my takeaway
Nailz?
is he's done well for himself.
He's done very
You know
well.
what? That is a case of someone with so little doing so much. And as someone with very little, I can respect that from Nailz. He's nailed it, you could say.
He has
absolutely
nails it.
That should have been his catchphrase.
I know, but
He's
it was
nailed it.
actually, who's the boss now? Boss man. So are you happy that you've had a joint with Nailz? You've known a little bit more about 1992, 1993?
I don't know how much is going to come up in conversation in my general life.
Don't come up with me.
It's fine. But other than that, no. But you know what? It's nice
Hey,
to
Sam,
know.
if we ever do the top 10 worst wrestlers of all time, you've now got a bit more scope.
He's probably down there.
Like, why didn't you scope for top 10 worst
You have
wrestlers?
done. And
What about gimmicks?
you know what? Considering this is education, it's better than maths.
Yes, it is better than maths.
So
I can teach you a quadratic formula.
Please
By the way,
don't.
quadratic formula minus b plus minus the square root of b squared take over 4c divided by 2a. But thank you very much for joining us on educating Baby Sam. Did you get anything about? Did you know much about Nailz? Is there anyone you think we should educate Baby Sam in? Or even a thing, like a gimmick that happened, or some sort of competition or tournament, or even a brand? Is there anything we need to educate this boy on and let him know? Please put in the comments below. Thanks for sharing, subscribing, and we will educate this young man another time. Thank you very much. Who's the boss now? Baby Sam.
it was me, Austin.
No! Not the Howler Power.